Now, hello everyone. Just wanted to come on and have a quick conversation. Not, or just even, I just wanted to say something quickly about the Boston Celtics coach. Now, and but really not so much about him because it's already out there. He's already admitted, that he made a mistake. But what I want to say is, I don't believe that Neil Long's picture should have been posted, period, point blank. Um, we talk a lot about black women are not protected. But the first thing that they did was they put her picture up there and posted her picture all over the internet and on the media, Neil Long's picture, which I don't believe they should have done that because Neil Long has nothing to do with what transpired between Amy and the unknown adulteress. Okay. So, with all due respect to Nia, um, you know, they shouldn't have posted her picture. Now, as far as the adulteress, they are still unnaming her, but apparently some people do know who she is. And it's alleged that Stephen A. Smith knows who she is. And if you all have watched the clip on ESPN with Malika, I believe her last name is Andrews. I think that she was way out of line when it comes down to muting the gentleman. And I'm not sure what his name was, if it was Ian or something, but to mute him so that she could get the last word out there to put in the public's mind that this adulteress, from a legal perspective, you know, well, first of all, you know, not all attorneys are credible. Not all lawyers are credible. And we have to look at who's paying those attorneys. When the Boston Celtic League reached out to those attorneys, that's who's going to pay those legal fees. That's who's going to pay those attorneys, legal experts, to give their advice or to give them, advice on what to do. And maybe they might have told them, not to bring up the adulteress name, but however, she's still an adulteress. She is a married woman that participated in a consensual sexual relationship outside of her marriage. And my question, because it seems to be that nobody's asking this question, was she offended by the unwanted comments that she's saying that she didn't want after the fact? And it's alleged that a contract was signed between both of them to leave each other alone, which a contract shouldn't have really had to be signed. Because if you are working for an employer, there are a lot of employers, organizations, hospitals, but employers that have a no fraternization policy in place. And see, in the military, we call it fraternization. And there's a lot of places that have a no fraternization policy in place. So they both would have had to be abreast of that and signed during orientation or however they do their hiring practices to both of them, not just one person. It can't be selective. It had to be anyone that's involved in the organization. Um, there should have been a no fraternization policy. Now, they say that the adulterous husband is a VP of finance and she's married to him. So how did that come about? Okay. And then the other thing is that when you look at uh was those, how come those, whatever passes that he might have made or she made to him, but let's say he made those passes to her in the beginning, why didn't she report it then? Why didn't she report those passes then, when, before it led to a sexual encounter? Why wasn't that reported then? Why did she proceed to get involved in a sexual relationship with this man knowing that it was against the policy of the Boston Celtics league. Okay. And then after the fact, she says that there were unwanted comments after they called it off or signed a contract after the fact. Okay. Now, I'm not saying, see, she wasn't a victim in the beginning because she participated. It was consensual. So she wasn't a victim in the beginning. And I'm not going to say she's a victim in the end, after the fact, because I don't know. I haven't seen no receipts, and it's not for me to see the receipts. But I'm going to say that I'm kind of sick and tired of women claiming they are victims after the fact, after consensual relationships. Now they're the victim. Now, I'm not saying that it can never be that, you consent to something and then after the fact or later on you become a victim. We've seen domestic violence situations. We've seen, a lot of situations where you're stuck in a control trap, and things like that. We've seen all of that. We've heard all that. We've witnessed it, and you might be a victim of it at some point yourself. So I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is from the very beginning, before the relationship turned sexual, turned intimate, why wasn't it reported in the beginning? And she went along with this, the adulteress. And I'm calling her an adulteress because that's what she is. She went along with it and she got caught up in it. And there is alleged that there was something the husband heard on the door, the ring, or he heard a conversation, but it was on a security camera or ring. And so, excuse me, she obviously got caught. And then all of a sudden it was, well, he's making passes after the fact to me, and so now there's the victimhood. And, we have the neighborhood, you know, um, we have a lot of different hoods. But this new victimhood is really starting to get on a lot of people's nerves, not just mine, but a lot of people, this new victimhood, because women now want to be part of the hood, but it's called the victimhood. When they get caught, when things don't go their way, when things go a different way or they don't like what happens. And so now I'm part of the victimhood, and Malika Andrews needs to stop that because she is jockeying for these people that really would not give a rat's behind about her. And if it had been a black woman, I believe that her face would have been posted and made publicly if it was a black woman involved in a situation. And if it had been a white man, they probably would have covered it up. And I'm going to speak my piece on this because I believe it. And so why wasn't the woman's picture put out there? Nia Long's picture shouldn't have never been put out there at all because she wasn't the culprit. She wasn't in question. She was not the female that was messing around. She wasn't. It was the adulteress that was messing around. So that's whose picture should have been posted out here when it came down to, the head coach of the Boston Celtics. And see, we as black women, again, we talk about, being the less protected group that there is of women in society. But I'm going to say this. Malika Andrews is out here jockeying for this adulterous woman that now you want to insinuate that she could be a victim and that we should go along with what the legal experts and all of that nonsense. Well, legal experts and attorneys and lawyers lie too. And guess who's paying them? And it's easy to see who, to go along with who's going to pay you. Same thing in this crooked judicial system. If you're getting kickbacks and you're getting paid, a lot of times there's corruption in our judicial system also. So, but getting back to what I'm saying is, Malika Andrews, you were out here, you muted, I believe his name Ian, the guy, the dark skinned guy, but you muted him so that the people, they were saying he started making some comments, but still, you was going so hard for this woman that committed adultery. She did. She's married to another person, stepped outside of her marriage, committed adultery, and you going hard for her and trying to protect her. But her picture should have been out there, not Nia Lone's. We should have been protecting Nia. That's who we should have been protecting as a black woman. And when we talk about black women are not protected, now I see why. Because you have people like Malika Andrews, and you have like all these other people out here that are, soon as something happened, they want to put black people, all plaster them all over the place and talk they talk. And a lot of their talking does not support black people. It really does not. I heard conversation, to me, I was like, I don't agree with that. I have to agree with what these men were saying, because that we are in a Me Too movement era. We are in the liberal feminist society era, where you have even female prosecutors going after men because they are angry and they are rebellious, and and they want to control the narrative and the court systems now, and they want to control the media. They want to control everything now. And there's nothing wrong with having liberation. But at some point, you can't have liberation and still violate other people's rights and not be fair. And that's what we're seeing. And when we talk about this again, with black women not being protected, you have women like Malika Andrews showing the world why we still should not be protected. Because when we as black women do not value ourselves, guess what? Nobody else is going to value us either. And that is the God-given truth. If we don't value ourselves, nobody else is going to value us. If we don't protect ourselves, nobody's going to be willing to protect us either. And so we have to learn to value ourselves and stop giving credit where credit does not belong. Because this adulterous woman discredited herself, and her picture should have been posted instead of Nia's. Nia's picture should have never been out there. With all due respect, her picture should never have been posted on social media, out there in the media, because she was not the one that committed adultery. It was the adulteress is unknown, allegedly, who they're keeping a secret. They're trying to keep her hidden. They're trying to protect her identity and trying to insinuate that she's a victim. But she wasn't a victim when she participated in each stroke that was given to her. And I don't want to be disrespectful, but I'm going to say what I'm going to say on this, because she participated and she was liking what she was getting. Let's just keep it real. Not only did she disrespect, Nia, because she knew that she was making plans and travel plans, and she knew, about Nia, but yet still, excuse me, she still got involved. And we can say, well, he probably was telling her this and he was telling her that, this woman, the adulteress, and he was telling her these things. However, she didn't have to go along with it, because she already knew that this man had a relationship with one of his, one of his children's mother. He already knew. So she knew as well. She knew. So she didn't have to go along with that. She should have turned it down. And also, she was married. So why do we need to protect her? Why do we need to protect her identity, but put Nia out there and expose her? Most of us know who Nia Long is. She's an actress. We know who she is. So her picture did not need to be posted out there. But again, we as black people participate in foolishness. We participate in foolery. We participate in the devaluation of our own kind. And so if we are going to protect women, then we need to start showing protection. We need to display behaviors of protection. And as black women, we need to value ourselves. And we need to stop putting other people over us, over who we are. We need to raise our standards and say, you know what? I value me. I value who I am. And so I'm going to show the world I value me. And once we start showing people who we are, that we do value ourselves in our own actions and behaviors, we will see change. We're never going to see change if we keep devaluing ourselves for the oppressor. If we keep devaluing ourselves to get a bag or to look good or to buy into something, we are never going to get to get where we need to be. No one is going to value us if we don't show people, other cultures, that we value ourselves. You know, if you want to make brown, you know darn well that green and blue does not make brown. See what I'm saying? So we have to get the colors together. Orange and red is supposed to make brown. See, this doesn't take rocket science, because all of us should have went to school and took science in elementary. And we learned a lot of different things back then, what colors, what two colors to put together to make another color when we were painting. Most of us took art. So it's not rocket science. We don't have to take a art class now, because we should have taken those things then when we were growing. That's how we learned to grow to the next grade level, because we mastered, or we satisfied the grade of our classwork that we put out to be able to move and get to the next level, to be promoted to the next level, right? The next grade level. So it doesn't take rocket science. Okay. And so when I talk about valuing ourselves, I'm speaking from a place that we need to do that, because if we want to see change, then we need to be the change we want to see. And we should stop participating in foolish things that will decrease us, that will devalue us, and will show them that we don't care about ourselves. And we have to stop participating in things that will send a message that we don't value ourselves. Just like if we go into business for ourselves and we decide we're going to sell our stuff less than what it's worth, because we want to appease the people that don't want to pay. Well, then first of all, we need to stop lowering our prices to cheap people. Okay. Stop lowering our prices to cheap people when it comes to our business or services that we're putting out. We need to value ourselves. We need to stop showing people that we don't value ourselves by our behaviors and actions. So with that being said, with Nia's picture being posted all over the place, it's like you all devalued her by putting her out there in a situation that had really nothing to do with her. Regardless if she is dating this man or engaged to him or whatever the relationship is, that she still, her picture still shouldn't have been posted on the plaster for everybody to see all around, to devalue this woman and to make them question her integrity and to make them question what her situation and status was with this man. Picture shouldn't have never been out there. But yet still her picture gets posted, but not the adulteress picture. That's whose picture should have been out there. When it comes down to it, the truth be told, the adulteress picture should have been put out there for the world to see, not putting Nia all over the place. And I stand on that. And people might disagree with me and might want to come at me. I'm standing on what I'm standing on, because her picture shouldn't have been put out there, but the adulteress picture should have been put out there. She needs to be held accountable, because again, did she reject those passes in the beginning? No, she participated and enjoyed every stroke. She participated and enjoyed everything until she got caught. And that's what usually happens. When you get caught, then you want to play the victim a lot of times. And I'm not saying, I don't want to bash her, but all I'm saying is stop playing the victim. You wasn't the victim when you was getting involved. And now they want to hide it and cover it up and put somebody else's picture out there in the forefront for folks to talk about and try to even degrade or pick this woman apart, Nia Long, when it shouldn't be like that. She's a Black, beautiful queen, okay? Beautiful actress. Yeah, but a lot of us have went to the movies and paid to see her act in movies, whether it was in the theater, or maybe a live play, television, movies, whatever you want to call it. And her picture is plastered, but yet and still, this woman is the one that was participating in adulterous activities, and she's married to a white man. So you have to look at the big situation here. And would they put if it had been a black woman, would her face been posted all over the place? 9 times out of 10, I believe yes. But if we're going to value ourselves, then we have to stop going along with stuff and participating in stuff that devalues us as black women. We should not allow anyone to decrease who we are, to decrease the message of who we are. Because if we as black women are not valued, as a lot of people keep saying, then why are we allowing them to continue to devalue us? Why? Why? If we want change, then we got to show them change. And we can't keep doing the same thing and having the same behaviors and actions if we expect something different. If we expect something different, then we cannot have the same actions. We cannot keep putting out the same thing and getting different results. If we put out that we are not valued, if we put out that we don't value ourselves, if we don't value ourselves, then guess what? We're going to still get the same reactions. But if we start to show the world through our actions and our words and our behaviors and how we interact with one another, we start putting that out there, then guess what? Eventually we will see and receive the change that we want to occur. But if we don't, we're going to keep getting the same thing. See, let me tell you something. When you participate in a game, you should be participating. When you play the game, you play to win. And I that's what I'm talking about. And this woman, she played a game. And she was winning probably at one point. At least she thought she was, that woman, the adulteress. And when she felt she was no longer winning, then now she wants to act like a sore loser. You know, this sore loser and everything. And they want to protect her. And that's not right. But then you want to put Nia's picture all over the place, when her picture shouldn't have never been posted out there. Never, ever. She should have been protected. Because people know who she is, but her picture shouldn't have never been posted at all. But the adulteress picture should have been posted. Her picture should have been posted. Excuse me for a second. Yeah, her picture should have been out there. That's whose picture should have been posted. Because if you're going to talk about this man and what this man did, the accountability, it either needs to be equal or there needs to be some form of accountability for the adulteress. She shouldn't be protected like that. And this thing about, well, she could be a victim. You know what? She wasn't a victim when she was participating. She wasn't a victim when she engaged in that. She wasn't a victim. And in this Me Too movement era and all of this, people want to be saying, oh, well, I'm a victim now. We see the games that people play all the time about becoming these victims, when things don't go their way. And when things don't work out, then everybody, that played a part in it becomes the victim, and they want to get paid. When they was enjoying the ride, they was enjoying that ride. And when the ride was threatened, then all of a sudden, well, no, I'm a victim now because this is what's going on. And this is, that kind of thing. But again, her picture is not being posted, and it should, because she was the adulteress. And she might have been the aggressor. We don't even know. She might have been the aggressor in that situation. She might have been. Because again, she knew who Nia was. So it was a matter of disrespect. And she know what race Nia is. That's why I'm saying we as black women got to stop capping for other races when it comes down to who we are. Because if we the less protected class, then we got to start doing things differently to see change, the change that we want to see. And until we start showing the world that we value ourselves, we can't expect nothing else from them, but the same results. But if we want a different outcome, then we need to start displaying and being different and show them, because it starts within us about valuing ourselves. It starts within us. But when you posting people's picture like that, when her picture shouldn't have never been posted, Neil's picture shouldn't have never been posted. And I said it many times in this video. And you got people posting her picture. But why? We know who she is. Most of us do. But why? She didn't have anything to do with that. But the adulteress did. So should we have just posted one person's picture and the unknown? We should have put the unknown woman. That's what it should have been, the unknown woman. If we're going to post anything and you want to post the head coach, and then you didn't have the picture of the unknown adulteress, it could have been the unknown woman or the unknown adulteress. That's what could have been up there. So I think we have to do better. Whoever you are, and you know who you are that posted this woman's picture, you all need to do better when you post the Nia Long's picture, because we have to respect other black women. And we see today a lot of black women don't even respect other black women. Because that Malika Andrews, I heard, oh my gosh. I did not, ooh. Why are you capping for her? But she's the one that's wrong, though. She the one stepped out of her marriage while she married to somebody else, dibbling and dabbling. But she the victim. At least that's what you were insinuating. But y'all made sure y'all posted a black queen's picture up there. I don't like that. But anyway, I want to come from a different perspective, because my thing is, two wrongs don't make a right. And I'm not saying that the head coach was right, because fraternization goes for everybody. If you work in an organization, whatever employer, fraternization, the punishment should be what it is. But at the end of the day, we shouldn't be up here talking about some, well, because I saw on another video that this guy was saying, well, they barely saw each other. It don't matter what that man told that woman, she was still married. And it was up to her to refuse those passes if he was making them. And she could have reported it in the very beginning before it got out of hand. So she was a willing participant. It was consensual. And the question is, were you offended in the beginning before it went as far as it went? And why post Nia Long's picture out there? She haven't did nothing wrong. She don't have anything to do with that situation. But people put her picture out there for her to have to come out and speak out to say, please, I'm a mother first, protect my privacy. And I'm going to read about this, in 1 Corinthians chapter 7 right here. See, this woman might be afraid, the adulteress might be afraid that her marriage might end. So people cry victim. They cry rape. I'm not saying she crying that, but people do. I'm not saying she's doing that. So don't get it twisted. But I know people do that. They cry all type of things when after the fact. And if you're a real victim, you're going to do what's right from the beginning. You're not going to come out after the fact after you get caught. And we can't keep on talking about what men do when women is just as guilty and they just as aggressive and doing the most also out here. The most. And I still say, I don't like that Malika Andrews doing that. I don't follow her, but I saw it. And that just didn't sit right with me. Because to me, you was trying to insinuate to put it in the minds of the people. And I don't agree with that. And I believe if you say you're black, why would you cap for somebody that actually was in the wrong? Somebody that did wrong and they're in the wrong. They're definitely, and this woman was in the wrong. Okay, so now this woman was married. And Just as if the Bible is talking about, you know, marriage and Christian service. And this woman was married. So the Bible, you know, uses man, and that, you know, but also that goes for a woman too. When you join yourself together in marriage, when you join yourself together in marriage, your body belongs to your husband and your husband's body belongs to you, to the woman, I mean, in that marriage. And stepping outside the marriage is grounds for divorce. But it's up to that couple to work it out if they choose to. But adultery is grounds for divorce. And so, right here, so then he that giveth her in marriage do it well, but he that giveth her not in marriage do it better. The wife is bound by the law as long as her husband liveth. But if her husband be dead, she is at liberty to be married to whom she will, only in the Lord. So this woman was married and she committed adultery. But they want to cover it up by, they brought it out and they wanted to, you know, expose Amy, let the world know what this man did. They wanted to make sure that the whole world knew what this man did. But they want to cover the adulteress up. They haven't showed her face. It's allegedly some people know who she is. And there are some people in that industry know who she really is. But they probably are bound by privacy or some legal, legalities that they can't release it. But they want to cover her up and protect her. But they want to put out this man, this is a black man, strong black man with a high-ranking position, the head coach. But when it comes to her behavior, she's the damsel. Remember that, the victim or alleged victim, the damsel, it's legal reasons why she's being, she's not being made known. All of this nonsense. But it should have been legal reasons too. He should have been protected. They should have he should have been, punish him, punish her. But did they have to put his name out there bashing this man for even black folks? Yeah, he messed up. He worked hard to get there and he messed up. We all mess up. We all make mistakes. And none of us is a judge or jury. None of us is God. We all make mistakes. Yes, we do. He acknowledged his mistake. He acknowledged he messed up. People want to keep bashing. And most of it, I'm telling you, is black people doing it. Because I've seen so many channels. But what I didn't like was Malika Andrews trying to insinuate about the adulteress. And I didn't like how they put NL's name out there. I mean, her picture out there. That was wrong. Again, we as black people have to start speaking out, because the thing is, we have to value ourselves. And I don't know where they get off thinking that black folks is not worthy. We as black people are worthy. We are valuable to ourselves and our families. We are worthy. And we got to start walking in the worthiness of who we are. God finds us worthy. He values us and he loves us, and we got to do better. And we have got to stop playing in the hands of the oppressor that want us to play down who we are. We cannot decrease the value of the message of who we are. And a lot of times I see it happening, decreasing the value of who we are. And when we put it out there that we mean nothing to ourselves or to each other, then we will not ever get a change that we want to see. Nothing will ever change. We'll still keep getting the same results if we do not do differently ourselves. And I'm keeping it real on that. Because really, they should have kept that undercover. It shouldn't have never really went public. But I saw this woman, Malika, and I have to agree with what the men were saying. There's got to be accountability on both ends. There's got to be some type of level of punishment on both. And why blast him and put him out there saying, well, he should have known better. He should have known better. You know what? She should have known better. Yes, she should have too. Because she's the adulteress. Now, he was the fornicator, right? But she was the adulteress because he's not married. But she was the adulteress. And I think that people may be disappointed. They may be, because he worked hard to get there. And that's a big position, a high position, head coach. But you know what? While he's suspended for a year, we can pray for him. Pray for his children. Pray for the mother of his children or children. Pray. Pray that he, will be delivered from what he did. Pray that he will change his ways. Pray that he will learn a valuable lesson. Pray that he will recommit and rededicate himself to his spirituality. And I don't know what spirituality that is. Pray that he will be able to focus when he gets back, if they allow him to return after a year, to rededicate himself to the team so that they can look up to him. Because posting this out here like this definitely is not sending the right message to younger players or people that looked up to him. But while he's in that year, and hopefully he's praying for himself, because he's come out and said what he said. But in the meantime, why do we need to post NL's picture? She don't have nothing to do with that. She did her speaking. She spoke. And we need to protect her and her children. That's who we need to protect, is her and her children. And the adulteress is the one that needs to be exposed for her bad behavior, for stepping out on her husband. That's who needs to be exposed. That's who needs to be. See, that's whose picture should have been out there. And because they didn't have a picture and they haven't let the public know who she really is, then there should have been the unknown adulteress. That's what should have happened. And that's my opinion. That's my opinion. And and so Like I said, there are some things that's allegedly, it's fair use, it's public information. And then I'm exercising my freedom of speech under my First Amendment rights on my opinion of all of this. But I still stand on the fact is her NL's picture shouldn't have never been posted up there. Praying for her safety, for her emotional well-being, for her children. Like she said, she's a mother first. Praying that people will take her picture down and stop showing it and exploiting it, because there's no reason for that. Praying for that head coach, Amy. So I didn't want to say his name, but praying for that. And just praying that we, as Black people, start to value ourselves. Start to value ourselves. And stop jumping on bandwagons and crabs in the barrel. And start making better choices. And before we go along with something, find out who's saying it and really question, why is Malika Andrews going so hard? Is she part of the Me Too movement? The Me Too movement era? Is she? And why does she feel like she needs to protect an adulteress? God bless you all on the day today. I'll be back later on with other videos. Got to catch up on some things, but God bless you all. Peace out.